Trucker Terrence here. I wanted to do this video to talk about getting a CDL job when you have a criminal background. How can you break into the CDL industry with a criminal background? I myself have a criminal background, and that was a bit of a hurdle for me to overcome, trying to get gainfully employed. How do you overcome having to check that box for yes for having a criminal background? Well, one of the things that I do is I do not lie. I will click yes or check yes, but I am willing to explain. For me, this was an incident that happened over 20 years ago. Time passes, people change, people mature. So try to be personable, try to be honest, look them in the eye, carry yourself like someone that should be respected and trusted with whatever merchandise that this employer may entrust you with. I got a lot of no's. There have been plenty of jobs where I made it to the interview process and maybe even a second interview, and then they find out that I have a criminal background. And I might get an email, I might get a phone call, I might get a text. A lot of these employers contact me in some way and say, good luck, this is not the right fit for you, hope it works out. So along my journey and how I overcame some of those no's was just being very personable. Walking up, firm handshake, carrying myself like an individual that should be respected. Come in with your clothes pressed, haircut, nicely groomed. Just come in like you are well put together and you are someone that can be front facing for customers and someone that looks personable. Let your employer ask the questions that they want to ask. Talk in turn. Be civil. Listen. Practice with interview skills. Brush up on your conversational skills. Your employer is essentially there to put you on a hot seat and grill you, for lack of a better term. It's more like somewhat of an interrogation is what an interview is. They ask you a bunch of questions. Some you may be expecting, some you may not. I've gotten a bunch of questions that are like morality questions, or they put me in a hypothetical scenario and say, what would you do in this circumstance? Some of these questions that these interviewers have gotten real dynamic, so just be prepared to answer questions. Try not to be nervous. Take your time, answer the question to the best of your ability. Do the best that you can. If one employer doesn't hire you, there are countless other employers out there for you to apply to, and it's not over. The one thing that I don't do is I don't lie about my criminal background. An employer can hire you on a probationary period, but once they find out that you had a criminal background, they will fire you if you lied on that application. If you said, yes, I have a criminal background, you explain to them the situation, they may ask for further details. I've definitely had employers that asked all the details. They want to know how I changed, how that situation happened, why they should trust me. But always be honest. Just try not to get too discouraged. It's very easy to get yourself down, get discouraged, and maybe even give up and go search for something different. Like for myself, I did not want to go over the road. There may be more companies that are willing to hire people with criminal backgrounds if you're willing to go over the road, because they need a lot of bodies going over the road. There's plenty of turnover with people going over the road. I have children, so for me, going over the road was really my last option. I wanted a local job, and knowing what I know now, I would recommend somebody who wants to work local to start with food or beverage distribution. The food and beverage distribution companies tend to have a decent amount of overturn, and they're looking for people to get in those seats and move that product. Those companies are a good place to start. You have to find the right food and beverage company that is willing to train you and willing to accept you for having a criminal background. It's likely the harder the job is, the more likely they are to hire you. Really, you're probably going to have to do a decent amount of touch freight. You're going to have to get your hands dirty. You're going to have to put in that work. You'll get that behind the wheel time, but there's definitely going to be some physical labor in there also. If you're looking to break into this industry and you're looking to stay local, I would start with those food and beverage distribution companies. My first CDL job was back-breaking labor. I was delivering for Poland Spring and delivering those big 5-gallon jugs. Sometimes I'm carrying 2 at a time, walking up flights of stairs, delivering to people's doorsteps in the winter, snow, sleet, rain. Yeah, some of that food and beverage delivery is tough. A lot of people don't make it. A lot of people quit. It's tough work. It's not for everybody. You have to be built like that. If you feel like you're built like that, give it a shot. Put that time in, get that behind the seat time, that 1 to 3 year experience, and you're golden. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of those food and beverage companies, they are tough work, but a nice amount of them, they do pay because they know people will quit. They know the job sucks. It's hard. So some of them might be paying close to 6 figures. My first job in beverage delivery, I made 6 figures. Now, it was back-breaking labor, but I made that money. Now, I wouldn't go back to it now because it will break you down over time. So I say you can't really put a price on your body. You only get one. And I wouldn't advise you to get into food and beverage distribution long term. Again, I know my last resort was to go over the road. I would have went over the road if no local companies would hire me, but I applied to every single local company that I could find. I got a lot of no's. I got a lot of people saying, well, you got a background, do you got experience? No. Well, if you had experience, I'd hire you. Well, I don't have experience if nobody would teach me. So it was like a catch-22. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't lie. I let everybody know that I had a criminal background, and I did not give up. So I did not lie, and I did not give up. I continued to keep on keeping on. I kept presenting well. I kept a smile on my face. I kept being personable. I kept working on myself. I kept working on my conversational skills, working on my eye contact. I didn't give up. We don't quit. That's the one thing you don't do. Just don't quit. Do not give up. I talked to a few guys that got their CDL permit and gave up. They got their CDL license and couldn't get a job, and they gave up. They went to go do something different. I kept on keeping on, and I overcame the hardship. I overcame not having experience. I overcame the criminal background, and yeah, I'm good now. I feel good. I'm taking care of my family, and that's what's important. I got into this industry so I could be able to take care of my family, although it was tumultuous in the beginning, getting all those no's and the bills got to get paid. But I kept on. I finally overcame, and I finally got a company that was willing to hire me, and I was making some money. I was making a couple dollars. So it all worked out in the end. But I did not give up, and I did not lie about having that criminal background. So I just want to give a little bit of encouragement to fellas out there. If you're thinking about getting your CDL license, I think it's a viable career path for you. You want to be able to take care of your family. You can do that. You know, if you're worried about companies not hiring you because you have a criminal background, I think it's actually more common for people to have a criminal background than you might think. There's so many people in America that have been convicted of crime, and after we come home, we want to be productive members of society. You know, we got to start somewhere. There's got to be somebody willing to hire us. And the more credentials you have, the more experience, the more skills you have, the better. So I say, go get your CDL if that's what you want to do. If you're going to do it, like, do it all the way. Commit. Jump in with both feet and make it work. And if you want to do it all the way. Don't give up. I didn't. Yeah, go on and get behind the wheel of one of them big rigs. Come on, get your CDL license. I got mine in 6 weeks. You can do it. Practice your interview skills. It'll all help in overcoming the fact that you have a criminal background or no experience. So Get on out here, put in the work, do the book work, get your credentials, and come on, let's get behind the wheel of one of these big rigs. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And Trucker Terrence here signing out. I'll see you on the next one. Let's keep it trucking.